Hey everyone, so let's talk about a feeling I think we all know way too well these days. We're calling it popcorn brain. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's that feeling where your brain is just scattered. Your focus is constantly popping from one thing to the next, never really landing anywhere. But what if this isn't just you being bad at focusing? What if it's something bigger, like a real shift in how our brains are working in this digital world? Let's dive in.
I mean, does this ever happen to you? You're trying to work, or read a book, or just sit still for 2 minutes, but in your head, it's total chaos. It literally feels like you've got 20 browser tabs open in your mind. They're all playing different videos, and you have no idea how to close a single one. And oh, this is the classic, right? You grab your phone to check the weather, just one simple thing. And then an hour disappears. You've been scrolling, tapping, watching, and the original reason you picked up the phone? Gone. Vanished. But here's the key thing I want you to hear. That is not a failure of your willpower. It's the success of someone else's design. This whole experience is a feature, not a bug.
So naturally, our first instinct is to blame the tools. I mean, it's easy and let's be real, it feels right to just point the finger at our phones and apps. They really do feel like the source of all this distraction, don't they?
Yep, the usual suspects. Those little red notification bubbles, the endless, hypnotic scroll, the algorithms that are literally designed to figure you out and keep you hooked. It's so easy to see these things as the bad guys, hijacking our brains. But what if they aren't really the masterminds here? What if they're just the getaway car for a crime that actually starts inside our own heads?
Okay, check this out. This quote from Nir Eyal, who wrote Indistractable, just flips the whole script. Time management is pain management. He's saying that when we're trying to manage our time better, what we're really trying to do is manage some kind of emotional pain. It's not about the pull of something fun on our screen. It's about the push of something uncomfortable inside of us.
So that leads us to the real deal. The problem isn't mainly external. Nope. The true engine driving all our distraction is internal. It's that super basic, fundamental human need to run away from uncomfortable feelings. And that brings us to this key idea, the internal trigger. The best way to think about it is like a psychological itch you just have to scratch. That feeling of boredom, that little pang of loneliness, that wave of anxiety, that's the itch. And our phone? Well, it's become the perfect, most convenient tool we have to scratch it. Our devices are basically just escape hatches from our own minds.
And just look at some of these triggers. That moment of boredom at a red light, that feeling of loneliness on a quiet night, the exhaustion after a super long meeting, the anxiety you feel looking at a difficult task. These are the real culprits. Our phone is just the pacifier we reach for to make ourselves feel better. So, which one of these are you running from most of the time? And this leads to a pretty tough realization. The phone itself isn't the root problem. The root problem is our declining ability to just sit with discomfort, to just be okay with not being okay for a minute. We've kind of forgotten how to handle our own internal weather, so we reach for an external escape at the first sign of a little rain.
Okay, so you might be thinking, all right, if the problem is internal, then the solution must be to just try harder, right? Just gotta flex that willpower muscle and resist. Well, turns out that's another huge trap we all fall into.
This right here is a massive mythbuster. We've all heard that your willpower is like a muscle that gets tired out, right? Turns out that's mostly a self-fulfilling prophecy. A whole bunch of research suggests that your willpower only runs out if you believe it will. How crazy is that? The very act of telling yourself you're weak is what makes you give in.
So if gritting our teeth and using willpower isn't the answer, what is? The answer is systems. Instead of trying to be stronger than your phone all the time, the solution is to be smarter. It's all about designing your life and your environment so that focus is actually the easy choice, and getting distracted takes real work.
So Nir Eyal gives us this really practical 4-step framework. We've already talked a bit about step 1, mastering those internal triggers. The other steps are about making intentional time for what you really want to do. He calls that traction, then getting rid of all those external pings and dings, and finally using something called pacts.
So what in the world is a pact? Just think of it like a contract you make with your future self. It's you, right now, when you're calm and rational, setting up a little roadblock to stop your future impulsive self from making a choice you'll regret. The whole idea is to add a little bit of friction.
And here is a perfect, super simple example. Eyal talks about how he and his wife realized their late-night phone habit was hurting their relationship, so they made a pact: no more devices in the bedroom. They started charging their phones in the living room overnight. That tiny bit of friction, having to get out of bed and walk to another room, was enough to break the mindless habit. See? That's a system, not willpower.
But listen, even the best systems can fail sometimes. The ultimate strategy, the thing that can make you truly indistractable, is mastering your own inner state. This is about retraining your brain to calm that popcorn feeling and maybe not even feel the urge to escape in the first place. Dr. Joe Dispenza has this incredible practice. The idea is, before the day and all its notifications hijack you, you sit quietly and basically become the director of your own mind. You consciously decide who you want to be today. You mentally rehearse the feeling of being focused and calm. You're literally rewiring your brain's default settings from being reactive to being intentional.
This quote from a Shaolin master gives us a totally new way to look at this. The path to getting good at anything, whether it's martial arts or just concentrating, isn't about running away from discomfort. It's about intentionally leaning into it, just a little bit, every single day. That moment of boredom right before you reach for your phone, that's your dojo. That's your training ground.
And really, that's the ultimate goal here. You're never going to eliminate boredom or anxiety from your life. That's impossible. But what you can do is build up your resilience to just sit with those feelings, to feel them without immediately needing to run away. The whole point is to turn distraction from a knee-jerk reflex into a conscious choice.
This line from a former secret agent just nails it. In her line of work, reacting on impulse could be fatal. The goal was to become unprovocable, not just by what was happening around her, but by her own internal feelings. And that's where true focus comes from, that inner stability, that ability to not get thrown off course by a little pang of boredom.
So I'll leave you with this challenge. The very next time you feel that unconscious pull to grab your phone, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself this one simple question. What feeling am I trying to escape from right now? The answer to that question might just be the first real step to taking back your brain.